Listen up if you're tired of feeling like you're spinning your wheels right now. You're frustrated with where you're at, and you're sick of watching your dreams slip away. This is your wake-up call. No sugarcoating it, no BS, no excuses. Just hard-hitting truths every man needs to hear if you're serious about leaving a lasting legacy. You see, it's time to step up and get real and take charge of your life. So let's go. I'm Miles Threat. Thank you for joining me for Legacy Leaders Lounge. I help leaders just like you who want to leave a lasting legacy no matter where you're at in your journey. So let's get started. I'm going to cover with you the 15 brutally honest life lessons that every man needs to hear to leave a lasting legacy. In that first lesson, I hope it's not going to be a surprise to you, but there's no one coming to save you. Stop waiting for someone to hand you the life that you want to live. Freedom and legacy, they're earned, not given. It comes by hard work. And if you want respect, you need to first start by respecting yourself. This is the time when you put your oxygen mask on first. And for you to start respecting yourself, it starts with you keeping your word. And that means keeping your word with yourself first. See, respect is all about integrity. And that integrity comes with you following through with your promises and with your word. And you need to follow through with those with yourself first. You want to build that into your life and be that man who leaves a lasting legacy behind to those that you care about the most. Then respect yourself first and keep your word to yourself. Keep your promises. If you can't keep your promises to yourself, you're not going to be able to keep your promises to others. So if you say you're going to do something, follow through with it. If you're going to work out and take care of yourself, then you need to follow through with your plan to take care of yourself and work out and do the things that are going to make you better. If you can do that for yourself, you can do it for others as well. See, every time you honor your word, you just reestablish self-trust and you build your self-worth. Respecting yourself also means that you set and enforce boundaries. You have boundaries for yourself and you have boundaries for other people. You learn to say no and say no when it's necessary. You don't allow others to take advantage of your time, your energy, or your kindness. You see, clear boundaries, they aren't selfish. They're a sign that you value yourself and that you have priorities in your life. And it also helps you learn to stand firm in uncomfortable circumstances. If you can stand firm in those uncomfortable circumstances, people are going to respect you because you have a damn backbone. The final part about respecting yourself is that you invest in your personal growth. You invest in yourself. You see, you never stop learning and growing, and you challenge yourself to grow and develop. You learn new skills. You get better at the things that you do well. You make reading and studying a priority for your life because you know that that helps develop yourself. It doesn't matter if you're trying to learn a new skill, improve your health, improve your mindset. See, self-respect thrives on progress. And that progress is you developing yourself. If you're that man who is willing to invest in himself, it shows that you value who you are right now and who you want to become in the future. And that's what respect is about. Valuing who you are and who you want to become. The second lesson is your family's watching. Your kids, your partner, your friends, people who care about you, they're paying attention. They're watching what you're doing. They're listening to what you're saying. And guess what? They're taking notes on your actions, not your words. So what is it that you're doing? You see, you want to be that man that they admire, not the one that they pity. And if you want to be that man that they admire, you have to start out by leading by example. The most simplest, easy thing for you to do in leadership is for you to lead by example and be that example. That doesn't mean that you're perfect. It means that you lead by example. You walk the talk. You show up. You do the actions. You do the work. You're consistent about it. You are responsible for yourself and those around you and for your actions. You're financially responsible. You take care of your health. You pursue your goals with determination. See, it's those actions that set the standard of what leadership and strength look like for you. You're also reliable and you're present. You see, people admire those people they can count on. Can your family, can your friends count on you right now? So you need to be able to show up for them physically, emotionally, and mentally. You got to make time. You got to make time for them. Actively listen to them and engage in their lives. lives. See, reliability, it builds trust and respect. And you overcome challenges with resilience. Life is going to throw you some major punches. You are going to face some obstacles, some challenges, some difficulties, some hardship. But it's how you respond in those moments that's going to set you apart. You got to be able to face them with courage. A lot of times, courage is just the fact that you're willing to face them and take on the challenge. You need to have a problem-solving mindset and an unwavering focus on growth. See, when those people around you see that you are turning those setbacks into comebacks, they're going to respect your strength and your determination in those moments. So if you're facing some difficulties right now, have the courage to face them. Figure out how you can solve them right now. And have the mindset that you're more than able to right now. The third lesson is excuses are weaknesses disguised as logic. You ever said, I don't have time, I don't know, I'm too tired? You ever said that? Then stop it. Just stop it. You don't have time is the lamest excuse I've ever heard. You have the same amount of time that anyone else has. It is all about how do you prioritize your time? What are you doing with it right now? How are you managing it? Are you even planning it out? If you are having an issue with time, it's all because you're not setting your priorities. You're not planning out your days, your weeks, your months, your years. We all have the same amount of time. It's all about how we use that time. And does that mean that you have to do more than others at some times and phases in your life? Yes, it might mean you have to do a lot more. But you prioritize those things and people that are most important to you. And you build your life around your priorities. You put those big rocks, schedule them in first, and then you deal with the non-essential stuff. If you ever said, I don't know how, well then figure it out. Figure it out is one of the best problem-solving tools I know of. And that means that you get in there and learn how. You find someone to teach you. You find someone that's done it before. You figure out how to make it work. Yes, that might mean you make some mistakes along the way, but that's okay. You will learn from those mistakes and you will get better. You have tons of resources available to you to help you figure it out in this world today. Take advantage of those resources and then figure it out for yourself. If you're saying you're too tired, well then either you're too lazy or you're not taking care of yourself. Are you getting the right amount of sleep? Are you taking care of yourself physically? If you manage your health and your life well, you can find the energy to get it done. Make sure you're prioritizing your sleep and your rest so that you are not too tired. And that means you say no to things that take away from that. Lesson number 4, masculinity is not toxic. This was not a popular subject in this world today. You see, true masculinity is the warrior protector type. Yes, you are a dangerous man and you know how to control it. True masculinity can be wrapped in kindness and humility. They are protectors, they are providers, they are servant leaders, and they are dangerous because they're willing to face the chaos, the difficulties of this world. You're willing to confront and tame that chaos that's happening. You are able to create order and stability in the midst of that chaos. But you've got to be willing to face the conflict, face the challenges. That even means you're facing your own inner demons and that you have emotional, psychological resilience in those times as you face them. You see, being dangerous, it's not about intimidation and violence. It's about having the strength to act in service of others. See, if you're a truly dangerous man, you know how to protect and uplift others. You're not there to destroy them. You place your strength in serving the ones that you love, caring for, and society as a whole. You also recognize that freedom comes for taking responsibility for yourself and others. You avoid victimhood and blame. You choose to focus on what is in your control. What can you control right now? You want to be that dangerous man? And what is it that's within your power to control? Take control of that. Take control of yourself. You see, for you to be a good man, it's not about you being harmless and passive. It's about you possessing strength and courage with the capability to face evil and chaos and adversity adversity. And when you face those things, you act in virtue, restraint, and responsibility at the same time. You're still taking action. When you do that, that makes you admirable and respected, capable of leaving that lasting legacy. Lesson number 5 is discipline equals freedom. You see, if you can't control yourself, someone else is going to control you, whether it's your boss, your debt, or your impulses. But discipline gives you the key to life on your terms. It's your ability to control your impulses, to act with discipline, and choose to use your strengths in a constructive, productive way that makes you a real man. So what are your disciplines right now? Goes back to what we said earlier. How are you prioritizing your time? How are you taking care of yourself? How are you showing by your actions to your family that you care about them? Lesson 6, legacy is built in the small moments. See, it's not about just the big wins. The big wins are great. They're going to come. But it's really about the small little wins and showing up every day. I tell you what, if you're a dangerous man with good intentions and you show up every day, you're already winning. If you're not hearing that from someone right now, the fact that you showed up for those that you love. Maybe you're in a job you hate right now, and yet you showed up because you're the provider and protector of your family. Well, then you just won. And you're a good man. Also, your willingness to have those tough conversations in those moments. And those small moments is you about making those small incremental choices that compound over time. It's as simple as you celebrating tracking the small wins along the way. It's those small wins along the way that's going to be that compound effect for those big wins that you're striving for. It might be as simple as you just getting that workout done that day. That might be the only win you had that day. But the fact that you made it a priority, you went and took care of yourself and you got that workout done and you showed up for it when you didn't feel like it. That is the small moments along the way that's going to get you to your big goal that you're shooting for right now. And it's by doing those small little things along the way that's going to make the biggest difference. So look in those small things that you're doing right now and track them and celebrate them and acknowledge them. Sometimes it's you going back over your day and looking at what are those small things I did today to help me get to my goal, and celebrate that. You deserve it. Lesson number 7 is weak men breed hard lives. You see, strength isn't just physical. It's also emotional and mental as well. And you need to get strong for the people that depend on you. So you need to practice some emotional awareness. Just take some time on a daily basis to reflect on your emotions. Get you a journal and start writing in it. And write down, how have you been feeling? What are you feeling right now? Why are you feeling that way? And then what is it that you can do about it? You understanding your emotions helps you control them and doesn't allow them to control you. You're taking control. You're also building emotional resilience. One of the best things I did for myself was learning to journal. First, when I was introduced to the idea, I just thought it was just some BS fluff, but I gave it a try. And when I started writing down how I felt and why I felt that way, I found new freedom in my life. It also helped me deal with some of the demons in my own life that I needed to deal with. It wasn't pretty at first, but it led me on a path of freedom. And it also helped me learn to connect with myself. You want to be a dangerous man? Learn to connect with your emotions. Learn to start journaling. Get you a journal and start writing out how you feel, why you feel that way, and what is it that you can do about it right now. Lesson number 8, comfort will kill your legacy. And I'm like anybody else. I love to sit on my recliner and relax and have a day off and have rest. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. You should have a day off and have some rest. But growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. See, legacy is built when you push through the pain, the fear, and any other resistance that you're facing. Really and truly, you got to be comfortable and being uncomfortable. And that means you make yourself do things that suck. Do something that sucks and try to do it every day. One of the things that I found that helped me with this is I do a cold shower routine. I don't have a cold plunge. I just do a cold shower routine every morning, and I hate it. it sucks. I even tell myself it sucks. I even tell myself as I step in that cold water that I'm embracing the suck of the day. That is how I start dealing with discomfort, that I embrace it, that it's going to be a part of life, that for you to be that overnight success, you're going to have to face some difficulties and some things that really suck, sometimes for a really long time, for you to be that overnight success. And you got to be able to willing to live through that discomfort. And the best way for you to do that is to do things that are hard and that suck. Another thing I use for myself with this as well is doing one more of the hard things. Could be as simple as during my workout doing one more set or one more rep and pushing myself a little bit further. It's you doing something hard right now and pushing yourself to do one more. Maybe you're just making another call, writing another email. Maybe it's creating another post for social media, and it's just hard right now, and you push yourself through and you do that one more. But it's in those discomfort moments that you push yourself through that you're going to be able to face those challenges in the future and push yourself even further when you need to. If you want to be able to do those things that no one else can do, you got to be willing to do it when no one else is willing to. So if you do it when no one else is willing to, you'll be able to do it when you're called upon. Lesson number 9 is stop seeking validation. You don't need applause or permission to pursue your purpose, but you do have to be secure enough to walk your path. Even when no one else understands you, you gotta be secure enough to walk it. And the permission thing, that one doesn't bother me. I could care less what you think. But that applause thing, that's my struggle right there. I want that applause. And here's 3 myth busters about validation. Myth number 1 is your worth depends on other people's opinions. You ever heard opinions are like assholes? Everybody's got one. Your value comes from what you do, not what other people think. And seeking approval gives away your power. So even in my struggle with that, I don't need to give away my power for people's approval. Why do I want to do that? And that's making you dependent on people who don't even understand your goals. You ought to be asking yourself, would I still pursue this if no one ever praised me for it? And if the answer is yes, you're on the right track. I just heard Gary Vee say the other day that he did video for 2 years on YouTube before it ever took off. And he was doing it on a weekly basis. He knew his why. He knew his purpose. Myth number 2, success is defined by societal standards. Really and truly, success is personal. You really need to define what success means to you, because if you're living based on what someone else determines success is, you're going to be miserable. You need to define it for yourself. See, someone might define success as money and fame, or maybe it's possessions, but your definition of success should reflect your values, your goals, and your priorities. The 3rd myth is men should always strive to fit in. And the reality is true leadership requires you to stand out and not blend in. That's going to be a tough one in the corporate world, because there's a lot of people in history that were very impactful and very misunderstood. So if you feel like you're being misunderstood right now, it can be a sign of your originality. It might mean you need to take some courage and follow your vision right now. Lesson number 10, failure is feedback. If you fall down 7 times, get up 8. You ever heard that proverb before? I think it's a Chinese proverb somewhere. Stop avoiding or fearing failure. It is a part of life, and it's a great feedback mechanism and tool for you to use for yourself. See, every setback is really and truly a step closer to success, as long as you have the guts to learn from it. And if you've been facing some failures right now, cowards are the ones that quit. Legends, they adapt. So it's time for you to be legendary and adapt and pivot at this point in time. What are you learning from that failure right now? So I was listening to an interview with Darius Rucker the other day, and he was talking about how Hootie and the Blowfish became famous. They had been performing in the Carolinas for about 9 years before they got discovered. And they happened to be performing their song, Hold My Hand, hit the Billboard record charts. And David Letterman happened to hear it one evening and ended up inviting them to perform on his Late Show. And that is where their career took off. 9 years of pursuing their dream. 9 years of practice, getting better at it, doing it, and going who knows what types of venues, who knows how much money they have been making. But 9 years of consistency. There's other stories just like that story. The reality is that overnight success happens after years being unknown years of working, being uncelebrated, years of perfecting your craft, getting better, pivoting, making changes, adjusting, adapting. It never happens if you give up. Lesson number 11, protect your circle. Your legacy can be derailed by the wrong people. Surround yourself with people that challenge you, support you, and share your vision. You see, you need some real friends. And real friends will show up for you in your darkest moments when your back is against the wall. And if you're in one of those dark moments and your back is against the wall and they are not there for you, then they are not a true friend. And really and truly, you don't need to waste your time on them anymore. You also need to have some friends in your life that are ahead of you, that are where you want to be later on down the road. And sometimes you might have to pay for those connections. You might have to pay to get into a high-level mastermind, or you might have to pay to get near that person so you can learn from them. You might have to pay them to be your coach or your mentor. And that's not a problem because you're wanting to learn and you'll value it more because you paid for it anyway. What you want to avoid are those toxic people that drag you down and do not have your best interest at heart. Their life is full of drama and they're trying to pull you in it. You need to get the hell out of it and move on. The reality is your circle doesn't need to be big. Most likely, as you get closer to your goal and get more focused, your circle is going to get smaller. And you know what? Your circle will have seasons as well. It'll have seasons where people are in it and seasons when they are no longer part of that circle. And that's okay because you will learn from those times as well. Lesson number 12, time is your most valuable asset. You need to be spending time on what matters the most with the people that matters the most, with your family, your purpose, with your growth. And for you to do that, you're going to have to prioritize your life. You know, once you use that time, you're not going to get it back. How are you spending it? What are you letting control your time? And how are you making sure you maintain control? You need to establish your priorities. And it comes from you determining who and what is important. And you also need to learn to say the word no. No to those things that are going to take you away. What's your priority in your life? And who is your priority in your life? Lesson number 13. Build wealth, not just income. See, legacy isn't about having a fat paycheck. It's about creating financial stability and opportunities. Not only opportunities for yourself, but also opportunities for that next generation. It means that you're being smart with your money. You are learning and knowing how to control your money. Your money doesn't control you. You control it. You determine how it is used. You have a plan for it. Part of that plan for it means that you give back and you make sure you pay yourself. Yeah, you got bills to pay and you figure out how you're going to spend your money and you have your plan for that. In that plan, you also know how you're going to give it and how you're going to pay yourself because generosity is going to be part of your life. And then as you pay yourself, that is how you invest. You invest it in your future, in yourself, in your family, in your goals. You invest it to develop yourself. You invest it to grow your bottom line, and you take control of it. You get help if you need help because it is an asset you're going to build for your future and for the next generation. Lesson 14, gratitude is strength, not weakness. You see, real men appreciate what they have while they work for what they want. This is where I want to borrow from Ed Milet. It's being blissfully dissatisfied. You found joy and gratitude and happiness in the present moment, wherever you're at, and at the same time, you have a burning desire for more. You're proud of the progress, the wins, big and small, and you're celebrating them. But you're not allowing yourself to get settled. You know, there's another level you want to reach. You don't allow yourself to be complacent. You are enjoying the journey. You're enjoying the process. You appreciate the good in your life right now. It's not just the big wins. It's also the small little blessings along the way. And that gratitude, enjoying those small little wins and expressing gratitude for them, that builds your resilience, lets you improve your focus, and it fosters genuine happiness for yourself. You should learn to start your day with gratitude. Focus on what's going well, no matter how small it might be. It might just be, hey man, I'm thankful that I am healthy today. I got food in my refrigerator. I got a roof over my head. I got clothes on my back. It's acknowledging your progress. Did you hit that new goal? Did you celebrate that? And then after celebrating it, ask yourself, what's next? Channel that energy for your next achievement. And finally, lesson 15, you're going to die someday. Let that sink in. Stop living like you have all the time in the world. We've talked a lot about time, how important it is. And we need to be making decisions today that your future self will thank you for and that your family will remember you for. Just 2 years ago, my father got really sick and started to die. My father was a pastor, a man of God, knew God, wanted to go to heaven, loved Jesus, excited about actually dying and going to heaven. But in those last days, as it got closer, that excitement waned. The reality started hitting in. The reality that he still had kids like myself that he wanted to spend time with. You see, he was still working on his legacy. He was still building his legacy in the midst of that. He was 77. He had lived his full life, really and truly, based on time. You're guaranteed about 77, 78 years as a male. That's about it. And then you're going to die. And as much as he was excited about going to heaven, as he got closer, the less excitement he had about dying, because he still wanted to leave that legacy in his children. I've got younger brothers, way younger than me. I got one that's 30, expecting his first child. He's not even seeing that grandchild. That grandchild's not going to get that influence that he had on his others. I've got brothers, like I said, that are young in their 30s, and they're not going to have that dad to call upon, to mentor them, to coach them, to help them through challenges in life. Hey, I've had to reach out to my uncle and ask for that for myself, because our time is going to come to an end one day, and you need to be ready for that. First, you need to be ready based on your faith. Do you know Jesus Christ, and are you ready for that day? If you don't know him and you're not ready to face God, then you better get yourself ready. As a man, you better prepare yourself. You better take care of yourself spiritually first and make sure your heart is right with God and that you're there and ready to face that day. If you're ready to face that day, then you need to be investing your life in those that you love so that you can leave that legacy in them. And if any of this has hit you hard in the chest, then good. That was the point. That was the purpose of this. This is your wake-up call. So you can keep making excuses, or you can choose today to take action. The choice is all yours. So if you're ready to build that legacy that matters, then check out the description below for a link and schedule your discovery call with me today. And we can work together to figure out how to get you where you want to be. No BS, no fluff, just reality, just results. Now, get after it. I'm Miles Threat. Thank you for joining me today for Legacy Leaders Lounge.